Hello everybody, peace and blessings to you, and thank you for clicking on this video. I am currently recording on August 7th, 2025. I'm down in my basement and I am planning to just do a little self-care time. I'm gonna use the foot massager to do a foot massage. I'm going to do facial steaming of my face. That would be my third time using my facial steamer, and I have a lot of pimples breaking out on my face this week. I am going to spend a little time on the bike. I'm going to do a facial mask, a clear mask. I'm going to use my vibration plate for about 15 minutes, 15 minutes on everything. 15 minutes of, everything is about 15 minutes. So 15 minutes foot massager, 15 minutes facial steam. I'm going to put on the clear mask and do the bite right at the same time. I'm going to do the vibration plate and just spend a little time with myself, taking care of myself, taking care of my body, and a little self-care time. And, I wasn't planning to make a recording. I hardly ever plan to make a recording. Sometimes I just feel called to make one, and I had an interesting epiphany today. One of the things that the question that I've been asking myself a lot lately is, why am I doing, the summer series that I started to do? It takes so long and it keeps getting longer and longer, and it's taking a shape, and it's taking shape in a way that I didn't expect. I didn't know exactly what it was going to look like. I kind of just had this idea. I felt called to do it. In my mind, I thought it was going to be shorter. I thought it was going to do it differently, and it just took on a shape of its own. And that has been how a lot of things that I have done in my life have been. Even this little self-care session I'm going to have in the basement right now, it wasn't planned. I found that, for a long time in my adulthood, a long, long time, I realized that my life was always intuitively guided. I would have an idea, I would feel passionate about it, I would feel called to do it, I would have the energy and the desire and the will to do it, and then I would just go for it. I would go for it. I might not necessarily know exactly what it's going to look like when before I start. I just have an idea in my head, a concept of an idea, and I just go for it. I start and I go for it. And at the moment, I feel like somebody whose life is taking a shape on its own, and I'm just intuitively guided every day. I have no idea how anything that I am doing is going to turn out. I have not felt, I do not feel like I have arrived. I do not feel like I have reached my destination and I could go, finally, I'm here, let me rest. I do not feel like I've hit that moment yet. I feel like I've been climbing and climbing and moving forward and moving forward, and just going and going and going, and not really reaching my destination, and I do not know. I wonder what that's gonna feel like, and I wonder when I'm gonna know that I am where I was heading the whole time, that I've arrived, I'm there. I am at my destination. I am in this place that will feel like home, that will feel like where I belong, that I've been searching for and looking for and yearning for so long. When am I gonna get there, and when is it gonna feel like that? I was really, really hoping that, we were heading to the end of the road. When in November, I was hoping that we were heading to the end of the road. I used to use the analogy, that we were on the bridge and we were getting ready to get off the bridge, and that we were going to get to the other side, and that we were about to build a new world and a new future. And it was the most shocking thing in the world to realize that there was more striving, more moving forward, more fight to fight, that the battle wasn't finished, that there was more battle to fight. Actually, the battle had only just begun. We had only completed like the first phase of the battle, or the first or second phase of the battle, depending on how you look at it. And we are moving into another phase, you know. But I just wanted to say that the epiphany that I had today, that's what I wanted to share. The epiphany I had today is about the questions that I had. Why am I doing this? And it's when I called my mother because I was feeling a little bit of self-doubt. I was feeling discouraged, and being on social media, and I was, taking in all that energy, taking in all that horrible energy that made you feel sick to your stomach sometimes. That you feel like, oh, this is such a yucky place sometimes. It feels awful, when you're taking all that energy. And, sometimes the algorithm just makes you feel awful, and I felt a little sick to my stomach. But, I called my mom, and it was something that she said that made me think that I'm doing this. What this is actually taking shape to be, I realize, is that I'm doing it the way I'm doing it because I feel like what it looks like I'm going to be called to do eventually is to try to teach people and show people how to navigate this information space. Anybody that would like to be inspired or learn from me. But first, I am learning how to do it myself in real time. I am learning how to navigate the information space, and how to deal with my emotions, how to avoid the minds, avoid the things that will make me feel like crap, make me feel shitty, and learn how to navigate this information age. And I'm learning it in real time. And what I'm doing when I make these videos is I'm practicing, and I'm getting, and eventually it will all come together the way it's supposed to. I don't know who watches my videos, and I don't know that my mom does, but I don't know if anybody else does. But I know that I'm honing my skills, I'm honing my craft, and I'm coming to the point where I'm going to know for sure what is the final shape of what I'm doing, what it is going to shape up to be, you know. But I'm learning in real time. So I just wanted to share that epiphany. Now I'm gonna go and do some self-care stuff. And this little recording here probably will be added to a recording I may do tomorrow, or I may do the day after tomorrow. Tomorrow is 8/8/25, and it is something to do with the lion. It's like the most powerful day, so I've heard, with the Lionsgate portal. I still don't fully understand the Lionsgate portal concept, but what I've heard is that is a tomorrow 8/8 is a powerful day for manifestation, and setting your mind and your intentions on, especially in area. This is what I heard just earlier. Areas of money, areas of success, areas of just the right areas that I would like to set my intentions on, to be honest. So that's why I'm down here too, because while I'm taking care of myself, I want to set my intentions on abundance, on success, on direction and clarity and understanding what I'm doing, and why am I doing it. Even more clarity than I just said with my epiphany. What am I doing? Why am I doing it? And where is this going to lead? Like, just set my intentions on what I want. So thank you for watching. Peace and blessings. Hello, everybody. Peace and blessings to you. Good morning, good day, good afternoon, good whatever time of the day that you are clicking into this video, watching this video. I hope that this video meets you well. I hope you are in good health and in a good mental state at the moment. I hope that you are at peace. I am sending you love. I'm sending you positivity. I'm sending you encouragement. I'm sending you positive energy. It is August 8th, 2025. And if you're wondering what these things are, I have there's an acne patch on my face. I have little bumps, little pimples on my face. So I put the little acne patch on my face. I have no idea if it does anything. I had gotten this a while ago, And the one thing it does is it protects the pimple from me picking at it. um, in case you are meeting me for the first time, I am Letitia. I'm a 42-year-old millennial mom of 5 children, immigrant living in the US. I'm an INFJ empath. I'm an intuitive, an introvert, which goes without saying. That's what an INFJ is. I am a light worker. I consider myself a new earth messenger, new earth beacon, basically holding the light for the future, holding the light for the new earth frequency, trying to live, learn, and love, trying to be the light and be the change I want to see in the world. I'm trying to navigate motherhood, mother of 5 children, trying to navigate living in the US as an immigrant, trying to navigate living in this world as an empath and an INFJ, taking in all the information being presented to me, or not taking it all, but having so much information being presented to me, having different sides of different pieces of a puzzle laid in front of me, and having to make sense of things, having to put the puzzle together, having to figure things out. It's not easy. It's not easy. It's a daily challenge. It's a daily walk. I have started a summer series. I don't know why I started this summer series. It just felt like a calling. It felt like what I felt called to do this summer. A summer series that I call Today, basically, simply called Today, because it's basically just like a daily diary of the world through my eyes, through my perspective. It is a daily diary, starting with the personal, my inner world and my personal world, and then observations of the external. You know, put it just like collecting pieces of a puzzle, not really putting it together, because I don't think it will. It's not going to come together in one day. It's going to come together over time. The pieces of the puzzle will come together as more pieces are collected and more of the picture is clear, and you live more, you see more, you experience more. We are on a journey and a path of learning. We are on a quest. We are, according to some people, they say we are clearing our karma, things that we have to address in our lives, things that we have to deal with, are coming to the surface. We're being tested. We're being tested to having to decide, who are we, what do we stand for, what do we believe in, what do we represent, what are we going to be a part of. So we are all just basically taking a test. We are all in different stages in our lives, and we're experiencing life in different ways, taking a test in preparation for where we want to go in the future. Now, there's a lot of conversation about the time that we're in from a lot of different perspectives. There are people who are intellectuals who speak about this time from an intellectual standpoint. There are scientists, people who speak about this time from a scientist standpoint. There are spiritual people who speak about this time from a spiritual standpoint. Religious people look at this time from a religious standpoint. And everybody has their own way of seeing the moment that we're in. I, as an INFJ empath, have a very, very difficult challenge of how of seeing this moment, because as an INFJ, one of the things about our personality, it's a rare personality type, by the way, and it is also a lonely personality. You kind of feel alone in this world, even with family, even with people that you might call friends. You still feel alone. You feel like nobody really gets you. You feel like you have a difficulty really expressing your perspective and how you see the world, because you see the world in such a unique way, and you desperately want people to understand the way you see the world. You want them to feel what you feel and see what you see, and the words are just not adequate enough to express the world as you see it. Your words are just not enough. um so you try your best, but it's a lonely feeling to be an INFJ. So from an INFJ perspective, an INFJ is like, somebody like that is could see the whole picture. Like we are up here and we are looking down at all the pieces. You know, we are hearing the scientists, we are hearing the historians, we are hearing the spirituals, we are hearing the religious people, we are hearing the intellectuals, we are hearing them, and a lot of what they're saying in different ways. Some parts resonate, some parts you're like, okay, I'll just shelf that for now because I don't know. I'm hearing you, but I'm not getting that, you know. And then you're also looking, you're hearing all these people, and you're hearing how that person and that person saying the same thing. It's just that they're saying it with a different language. They're saying it in different ways. They're saying it from a different perspective. They're saying it from their perspective, like as a spiritual being, as a religious person, as an intellectual, as a scientist, as a whatever. You know, they're all saying the same thing in different ways. And here as an INFJ, I am in the reason my channel, the theme of my channel, the theme of this year for me is Letitia Learns Life, is because I'm still trying to figure out how to put these pieces of information that I am gathering together to make sense of it, to make it clear, to bring it to clarity and an understanding that I could understand and that I could put forward in a clear way to other people, you know. And one of the difficulties too is that I made these videos and I made so much of them, especially summer. There's so much happening in summer. This summer, I just felt called to document what is going on this summer from my perspective personally to the external perspective of what's going on in the world, you know. So I am collecting bits and pieces of information like articles and headlines and clippings and different things of what's being said and what the energy is like and what's happening. Because right now, I don't understand what's happening. I understand what is happening, but in a sense, I don't understand what is happening. I don't understand why there's so much evil, so much cruelty, so much horrible mindsets and ways of thinking just rising to the surface, and it has so much power and it's doing so much bad things to people and causing so much pain and suffering and cruelty and stealing and taking. And why is there so much of this risen to the surface right now and highly active and highly powerful? And why is there so much power so much power saturated? I don't know what the right word is. So much power, like, on that side, on that side of cruelty, on the side of hate, on the side of killing people and stealing from people and hurting people and trying to rewrite history and destroy truth and trying to silence people. Like, why is there so much energy towards repeating history? Why is there so much energy towards slavery and towards genocide and towards wars and all these different things? Why is there so much energy on that and from that aspect of the world? And I do feel there's a lot of energy on the light side and the enlightenment side as well, but that side is in the quiet while the dark side is in the power, in the loud, you know. So I just stopped that video at 10 minutes because I'm thinking I'm posting it on TikTok as well, but I'm also going to post it on my YouTube channel. My YouTube channel is Tish Era INFJ. You can find me at Letitia B. If you search any name, Letitia B, Tish Era INFJ. I make a lot of long videos. I do shorts and stuff too, but during the summer, I've been making a lot of long form videos. I know that people are preoccupied listening to all kinds of other people. I do not know how to break into getting people's attention because, what I ask of people, a lot of people don't have the ability to give. I ask for time. I make long form videos. I ask for you to quietly listen to me and spend some time with me as I discuss the world, like I said, my inner world to the outer world. Again, too, I also do things a little bit different. A lot of people make videos in order to teach, offer tools to people as how to navigate and how to deal with this and how to see things, how to understand what is going on. And a lot of people offer tools to bring clarity to certain things, certain bits of information and all these different things. What I do, on the other hand, is I give you a peek into my world. I literally open a portal, I guess, open a view into my world, into my perspective, because I think an INFJ perspective is very, very fascinating. You know, it is, we walk around this world with a narrator in our head. We walk around this world like if we live in a movie, you know, um, like those kind of movies where you hear the narrator talking, you hear the person's thoughts, you hear how they see the world, you hear from a narrator perspective as they go through life what they're thinking, you know. And my superpower is my mind. My superpower is my thoughts. I'm a deep thinker. I used to be called an overthinker, and I used to receive that. I'm an overthinker, but I'm not an overthinker. I'm a deep thinker. I am an analytic mind. I am a listener, and I see things that other people don't see. I see magic everywhere. I see beauty everywhere. I see connections. I see how the puzzles fit together. I see patterns. I see things that people don't see. And what I've been trying to learn in the last few years is how to communicate these things, because an INFJ mind is a fascinating mind. I do not know how many INFJ, because a lot of INFJs are so damn quiet. The only INFJ videos that you hear is people talking about what, from a general standpoint, what an INFJ is, but not, you never really hear personal INFJs make personal videos about their personal life and how they're navigating in their personal space, you know, how they see the world, how they're navigating. But how fascinating it is to be an INFJ in a time such as this, where we are going through a generational shift, a planetary shift, a technological shift, where there's so much evil and so much bad stuff risen to the surface, and in the quiet is the side of light. The light is the quiet ones, the ones that are making a difference, and shining their light in the world. Those are the quiet ones. So you have to really quiet your mind, and you have to really look and pay attention and see the light, because the light is in the hidden right now. The light is not the loud. The loud is the dark. The scary is the dark. The things that scare the heck out of us and paralyze us with fear. The plans in which they tell us the plans up front, how they're going to control our lives and how they're going to steal from us and take from. They're like literally doing evil right in front of our face and daring us to say something about it. I dare you. I dare you to say something about it. Daring us to be courageous and speak up, even if we are alone, even if we feel alone doing it. It's a test. It's a test of the time. It's a test of the time of standing up for love and light, despite the fact that you might feel outnumbered or outmatched, or you feel like you're David against the Goliath. It's a test to stand up. So anyhow, oh, it is a cold day in August. It's August 8th, 2025, and this is a very important, significant astrological day. I don't know how to put it into words because astrology is not my department, but it is, the Lionsgate portal is wide open, as people would say. And what that means is, again, you gotta look that up to get the astrological understanding of it, the science, the astrology of it, you know. But from what I'm gathering, it's a good day for manifestation. It's a good day for making your intentions, your requests known to the universe, asking for what you want, setting your mind on what you want, setting your intentions. So I am not 100% sure what I want. I know what I want. Like, I have a concept of what I want, but not a full picture. I want to live in a world that the wicked is not is so loud and in so much control. I want to live in a world where we're at peace again. I want to live in a world with more kindness, and the kindness is in the power. The love and the light and the kindness is on the side of power, and not on the side of, in the quiet, where you have to really be looking. I want to live in a world where we can shine and be stars, all of us. Be shine like the sun and the moon, like shine, and do good and do good for one another, support one another, love one another, accept one another, learn from one another, and be the best versions of ourselves. Become the greatest generation, the greatest version of humanity that's alive, that's ever been alive. I find that this time that we're living in is a time of so much possibility. You know, we could learn from one another. We could remember who we are. You know, we could become the most powerful, strongest, courageous, beautiful, intelligent versions of ourselves. And we could help one another. We could support one another. We could love one another. We could live in harmony with the planet. My gosh, I just want to spend the rest of my life just becoming daily, just on the path of becoming the best version of myself and teaching my children how to become the best versions of ourselves. I want to create, I want to live, I want to paint on this beautiful canvas of life, and I just want to create a work of art. I want my life to be spectacular, you know, and colorful and beautiful and the best art that I could create, you know, the best art I could create in my life. You know, I want to live, and I want to love, and I want to play, and I want to be successful. The successful part is not necessary, you know. I honestly just want to exist. I want to play. I want to love. I want to be happy. I want to do this channel because for the fun of it, not because I feel pressure, not because I feel like I need to do it a certain way so that I can make an income. It's not about money. It's about sharing what I know, sharing what I discover, like recording fun things and creative things, and just being, just existing, just being, just creating, just whatever, you know, and it not be about the money. I never wanted my life to be about the money. The only reason that I force myself to be a part of the hustle is because, you know, you need money to get the things that you want. That's the system that has been created. I didn't have a choice in that freaking system. But it feels as though that system is ending and shifting. And I don't want these idiots that are in control right now to be in control of the new earth frequency of the new world. And I'm doing everything in my power to hold the light for the new earth frequency, to hold the light for a better world. Because these idiots don't deserve the world that we have at our fingertips that is possible. They don't deserve that world. So anyway, thank you for watching this video. It's really chilly out here. It feels like a fall day instead of a summer day. It is 8/8/2025, and the Lionsgate portal is wide open. That's an astrological event. You could look it up online if you want to know more, but I'm also going to share. I'm going to go in my Serenity room and read a little something about it for you if you're interested in sticking with this video. I know my videos are becoming longer, but that is what they're naturally shaping up to be. They're learning videos. They're videos that are documenting this moment from the personal to the external. And I don't know why I'm doing it, but I'm doing it for me, and I'm doing it for whoever else I'm doing it for. I I'm going to, yeah, so I'm gonna go in, and I'm gonna probably record in the Serenity room a little later, and I'm gonna try to set my intentions on and journal and try to focus my mind on what I desire, you know. And I am going to continue to grow, continue to learn, continue to work on being the best version of myself, continue to move forward, and see where we end up at the end of this journey, where this journey takes us. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you later. See you later. See you in the Serenity room. Bye. Hello, I'm back. It is 6:35 in the morning. It's Friday, August 8th, 2025. And as I've said, I mentioned like 3 times in 3 different parts of this video. Today is the Lions Gate portal astrological event, or where spiritual people say that the Lions Gate portal is open. And I'm not 100% sure what that means yet. I know what people say. People say it's a good day for manifestation and journaling and quieting your mind and meditation and all that kind of stuff. So why the heck not? I'll give it a shot. See, I'm gonna let my intuition guide me today, as I always let my intuition guide me. I will let my intuition lead me where it wants me to go, tell me what it wants me to do, and I will listen. I will listen. I will follow the path as it is laid out for me, as I feel called, and I will see where my life takes me, see where my day takes me. Um, for instance, it felt like one of those mornings where I am going to have a cup of tea. This is honey water. Have a cup of tea while we talk. My cup says, this is the only cup I have right now. Actually, I have a lot of cups, but this is one I use most of the time. Practice mindfulness and breathe. And I am not like certain people that make tea blends. My mom makes tea blends, and a lot of people make tea blends, and that is really cool. I usually just buy my tea blends, or I will use the tea blends that my mom made for me. And right now, this is the one that I have. I'm using this Bigelow tea, lavender chamomile, plus probiotics, supports healthy digestion. So that's the tea that I am going to drink this morning while we talk. Lavender chamomile plus probiotics. That sounds like a good tea. So today is a day about manifesting and setting your intentions and setting your mind on what you want, the world you want to live in, the life that you want to live. And I think I've shared in all the little pieces of videos that I recorded for this YouTube recording. I think I've tried to share in all pieces the concept of the life that I want. The concept of the life I want is the kind of life where the things that matter to the world, the things that the world says matter, are the things that I don't focus on so much, money and success and accomplishment and achievement. What I really want out of life is to live, to enjoy, to create, to breathe, to feel safe, to relax, to not feel pressured to be a certain way, or to be a certain kind of mother, or to be a certain kind of woman, or a certain kind of wife, to follow these rules that are set for me, these standard rules that are set for me by people who don't care anything about me, don't care anything about my soul. They just want rules in which they want society to follow. I find it very frustrating, the kind of masculine energy, the egotistical assholes that are in charge right now. I find it very frustrating. I kind of liked it when I was in my bubble, because when I was in my bubble, I didn't have to be aware of certain things. Being aware and awake, being woke, as they call it, and try to make woke being a bad thing. Being woke is a hard thing to be. It's kind of like in the Bible, where Eve, according to that story, discovered she was naked, and according to that story, to the Bible story, the way how it's presented, it was better for us not to know. It's better for us to walk around in the garden oblivious and naked and not know nothing. In Genesis, and I'm just going by memory, in Genesis, the Bible stories was all about not really wanting mankind to grow or to become anything or to strive, just to stay in our bubble, stay in our unknowing. And honestly, I don't know what is the secret to the greatest life ever lived. To me, the secret to the greatest life ever lived is to touch and to see and to taste and to be and to create, to discover, to appreciate, to respect. Not just to discover it, not just to discover something and be like, how can I take it for myself? How can I harness this? And how can I have the power of this thing? How could I use it for myself and be, drain it dry of all this energy and all its power and everything that makes it what it is, to control it, to take it for yourself. I know that humanity needs things. We need things to live. We need to eat. We need to take care of ourselves. We need medicine. We need all kinds of things. We need shelter. We need covering to keep us warm. We need all kinds of stuff. You know, what I would love to do, what I would love us, I wish I lived in a timeline where all of us thought like this. But I would love to live in a world where we really wanted to. It was our desire not to just take, not to take more than we need, not to take more than our fair share, not to be greedy, but just to take just what we need. To not be wasteful, to not pillage, to, I'm trying to find the words, but to take more than our share, to steal, to kill, to destroy. Right now I am looking at my laptop and I'm seeing this screen, this what do you call it, screensaver or whatever, and it's of the coral reef of fish, an underwater image. And gosh, I just wish that all of us had the same mindset where we would work together to work in harmony with the planet. And the thing is that people are creating and inventing ways in which we don't have to use the resources that we were using before as much, that we could not be wasteful, that we could use the energy of the planet, I say green energy, that we could be more eco-friendly with the things that we create and we purchase. But these fucking greedy people, every time I think about these people, curse words come out of my mouth. I never used to be a cuss word person, but these people, they make me angry. The more I watch, the more angry they make me. Righteously angry. They make me angry because they're so short-sighted and so effing greedy. And they're cruel and they're wicked and unkind. And I hate the fact that they have so much power right now. I hate the fact that they're able to do the things that they are doing. And the people who want better, who've been fighting for better for all their life or for such a long time, we're still fighting. We're still fighting. And I wonder when this is going to end. And I wonder when this is going to crumble. When the world that they are trying to create and they are trying to control, when is it going to crumble? When is the right people going to get knocked off the fucking board? When is it going to end? I keep wondering, when is this going to be over? So anyway, I'm going to drink my tea. I'm going to drink my tea slowly, not in front of you. I know that you don't have time for that. But I can take a moment to drink my tea, and then I'm going to flip the screen and I'm going to show you some of the things the digital clippings that I collected from last night, between yesterday and this morning. And I know you've heard me say this before, anybody who watches my videos. I know you've heard me say this numerous times. I did not plan to record today. It is like my life is just taking me where it wants me to go. Even though I am not, these videos are just like, they don't have an audience right now. It's other than my mom. Thanks, Mom. Even though I don't know who I'm recording for, as I keep saying, I know I'm repetitive. I can't pull away. It's like I can't stop. It's like I have to do this, and I don't know why. I don't know what this is all about. And I want to make them shorter, but that's not happening. I want to skip days, but that's not happening. It's just happening the way it's happening, and I don't know why. My life is just leading me where it wants me to go, and I don't know where it's going. I don't know where the story is ending. I don't know when this is going to be over. I don't know what's at the end of the road. But I'm just going to keep moving forward and keep believing and keep trusting, keep talking, keep being. And today, I'm going to set my intentions on the world that I want to live in and the life that I want. Okay, so let's talk. about these what I call digital clippings, basically screenshots of various things of interest, things I find interesting, bits and pieces of a puzzle of a world that is changing and shifting, and a lot of crazy shit is happening. Stuff that I don't even know how to make sense of. Stuff that I don't even know how to make sense of right now. But I'm just gonna show you the things that I clipped, the things of interest, randomly. So, just a little something that was very interesting. Foot remains found at Utah Lake belong to a man missing since 1997, officials confirm. Remains of a human foot found inside a hiking shoe on the shores of a lake in Utah belong to a man who went missing in 1997, according to officials. The remains were found on the shore of Fish Lake in south central Utah in May, according to local police. Investigators determined the hiking boot was made for only one year in 1996. Investigators were then able to tie the boot to a cold case disappearance from 1997. The man who went missing, David White, intended to go fishing with some friends and had rented a hotel room nearby, the sheriff office said. When the plans with friends fell through, White went fishing anyway, according to authorities. His boat was later found trolling across the lake with no one on board. So I just clipped that because that was like, I don't know, that's that's just interesting. That's just interesting. Period. This here is just, this is, I don't even know what to make of this. This is horrible. This is odd. I don't know what to make of these people other than it just makes me constantly think of the Bible verse. They're just setting out to kill, steal, and destroy, and gaslight and lie to, and manipulate, to kill, steal, destroy, and lie to people. Anyway, RFK Jr. has cancelled at least $500 million in mRNA vaccine funding. Okay, and from what I have gathered from people talking about it, this what do you call it? This scientific breakthrough, or this study, or oh gosh, I don't know what would be the right words, but this is like the best advancement in vaccine medicine from what I've seen. Somebody post something in relation to that. So, that this is some good medical advancements that are being made, and discoveries and things that are being made in terms of vaccines and in terms of saving lives. And this guy cancels $500 million in funding. All right. The Department of Health and Human Services, HHS, announced this week it is the beginning of a coordinated wind down of federally funded mRNA vaccine development. This includes terminating awards and contracts with pharmaceutical companies and universities and canceling 22 investment projects worth $500 million. While some final stage contracts will be allowed to be completed, no new mRNA-based projects will be initiated, the HHS said. Honestly, I just want to say that these videos that I make is just basically clipping information, gathering information, pointing people in the right direction. You might find something that you would like to dig deeper on or understand a little bit more of. I am just collecting pieces of information, bits and pieces of a puzzle, trying to see, just being alert, being aware, paying attention to what's going on, and seeing where this journey takes us, what is going on right now takes us. I honestly do believe that there is a split, like people said, where people are either choosing the dark energy or the light energy. And right now, the dark powers of the world have way too much control over our lives, our health, and basically their goal is to kill, steal, destroy, manipulate, destroy the truth, and send people back into the dark ages, send us back into the dark ages where, you know, it was violent, it was suffering, it was pain, it was slavery. There was, kings in their castles, and they had their common folk people, and they, send us back into the dark ages and the Victorian ages and the, I don't even know, just send us all the way back, 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 back. Why? Beats me. Why? I have no idea. This is no this impact. RFK Jr., the guy with the brain worm, cancels millions in vaccine research. How is he making America healthy again? That's a question mark. We have a clunker of unqualified people making health decisions for the entire country, pushing junk science and spreading narratives that are, frankly, bullshit. One of the most meaningful scientific breakthroughs, blocked by a guy who drinks raw milk. 500 million in funding for mRNA vaccines is now cancelled thanks to the health secretary and the guy who killed a bear and then ate it, maybe, RFK Jr. The mRNA vaccines, first used for COVID-19 and based on technology that won a Nobel Prize in physiology or medicine in 2023, have saved countless lives thanks to the speed with which they were created and their high efficacy. This is a bad day for science, said Scott Hensley, the immunologist who has been working to develop the mRNA vaccine against the flu at the University of Pennsylvania. True, we had not used these life-saving mRNA vaccines to protect against severe illnesses. Had we not used life-saving mRNA vaccines to protect against severe illnesses, we would have had millions of more COVID deaths. Jennifer Nuzzo, a person who knows what they're talking about, director of the Pandemic Center at the Brown University School of Public Health. False. As the pandemic showed us, mRNA vaccines don't perform well against viruses that infect the upper respiratory tract. That's a quote by RFK Jr., literally just a guy, incorrectly claiming that a single mutation in the virus would make mRNA vaccines useless. 22 projects managed by people who actually know what they're doing at the Biomedical Advancement Research and Development Authority, BARDA, including those with two of the distributors of life-saving COVID-19 vaccine, Pfizer and Moderna, will be cancelled. RFK Jr., who is a proud anti-vaxxer, says funding will be directed towards safer, broader vaccine platforms. However, thousands of hours of testing, expert research, and actual science have proven that mRNA vaccines are absolutely safe. Experts say this decision will have deadly implications. We're weakening our frontline defense against fast-moving pathogens, a huge strategy failure that will be measured in lives lost during times of crisis. Rick Bright, a flu expert who was ousted as chief of BARDA. These tools serve as a deterrent to prevent other nations from using certain biological agents. The speed of the technology to create new biodefenses capabilities is a national security asset. Chris Meekins, an assistant secretary for the pandemic preparedness in the first Trump administration. And so again, I would repeat that the kind of decisions that this administration makes can only lead me to believe that they are literally, deliberately destroying, they're deliberately aiming to kill, steal, and destroy. Why is the question I would like to have the answer to. I do not know. Why? I do not know. Why? I do not know. I am at a loss. So this is a headline I copied from yesterday. I didn't read the article, but it says Israel's Netanyahu says wants to take control of all of Gaza, which was always, which was seemed to me it was always his end game. This is something that somebody shared. I saved it. It said this is going on to the story about the Texas Democrats who right now are in they fled their state, their home state of Texas. They left their homes, they left their livelihood, they left they left everything. They're in Chicago being protected by the governor of Chicago, of Illinois. I'm not sure if they're in Chicago, if they're, I know they're in Illinois, the state of Illinois, being protected by the governor there, Governor J.B. Pritzker. But, you know, so this is in regards to that story where these Texas Democrats have left the state because they're trying to stop this evil, 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 evil man in a wheelchair who is cruel and heartless and carries the same dark energy, the same dark spirit that has taken over a good set of the people on this planet right now. Too many people on this planet right now are taken over by darkness. The governor of Texas, Greg Abbott. So anyway, this is something that I save here. Texas has 8 million registered Democrats, 6.5 million registered Republicans. We are not a red state. We're a rigged state. And I gotta tell you, this is getting harder and harder for me to watch. It was different when I wasn't aware of how wicked these people are and the wicked things that they are doing, the corrupt shit that they're doing. And this is before, like, it wasn't this bad. I don't know how it got this bad and why it is this bad, but it wasn't this bad. But you know what? All that was done in the dark, all that was done in the darkness, all the corruption that was going on there for the whole time, right? It is coming to the surface for us to see. And it is not only coming to the surface, but it's coming to the surface in the most ridiculous, shameless, hypocritical, horrible, awful way. And it's time for people to wake up. People have to wake up. People have to wake up and pay attention. But not just pay attention, but figure out exactly what they're going to do. What are we going to do about it? So this is Hank Green. He's somebody that I follow on YouTube. He has a very, very big channel that he shares with his brother. Forgot what the name of the channel is. But anyway, these are just like some nerdy dudes that talk about a whole bunch of different things, right? Hank Green. So he says, mRNA tech is some of the coolest, most powerful, most promising sci-fi shit humans are currently doing. They are being investigated to help with cancers, autoimmune diseases, MS, stroke recovery, heart disease, diabetes, arthritis, and high cholesterol. The reason it's so powerful is that it turns your body into the factory that makes the drug. This is amazing. We are on the brink of technology that could cause humanity to be the best versions of ourselves, and we are self-sabotaging. There is a darkness inside of us that is self-sabotaging humanity and the planet, self-sabotaging the people and the planet. And the question I keep asking is why? I don't know. That's the main question. Why? I don't know. All right, so let me run through some of the like just random quotes that I saved. You don't wake up others by yelling or shaking them awake. You wake them by living so free they feel the weight of their own chains. You don't wake up others by yelling or shaking them awake. You wake them by living so free they feel the weight of their own chains. Power of the people is always stronger than the people in power. Don't chase success. Chase growth, discipline, and purpose, and success will chase you. Every single thing you do today is something that your 90-year-old self will wish they could go back and do. The good old days are happening right now. And those who were seen dancing were taught to be insane by those who could not hear the music. I cannot pronounce the name of the person that this quote comes from, but this reminds me of my mom and her dancing videos. This reminds me of the dancing that I've been doing lately, even if I can't dance according to how some people may see it. You know, I am an intuitive dancer, meaning I just let the music flow through me and I let my body do whatever my body's going to do. And those who were seen dancing were taught to be insane by those who could not hear the music. And those who were seen dancing were taught to be insane by those who could not hear the music. And I got the song stuck in my head. My mom did a dance video that I did a duet with on TikTok. I think I also shared it on my YouTube. Wishing on a Star. I forget who's the name of the singer. Oh my gosh, that song's still flowing through my veins. I'm still hearing it in my head. It's the most beautiful song. That's just in my that's penetrating my brain right now. This is a comment that somebody shared. So just take a look at the picture. This is Washington, George Washington. And this says Bureau, this is a sign that says Bureau of Labor Statistics, job interviews. And somebody asked, fired? All I said was, I cannot tell a lie. There you go. Democracy needs your courage. I told you it's in my head. Okay, U.S. today. President Donald Trump revamped and paved over White House Rose Garden is starting to look. President Donald Trump's revamped and paved over White House Rose Garden is starting to look a lot like Mar-a-Lago. New yellow and white strip umbrellas were recently installed on about a dozen deck-style tables on the stone patio that replaced the Rose Garden's iconic grass lawn in late July. The umbrella appeared nearly identical to the yellow umbrellas on the swimming pool patio at Mar-a-Lago, the president's private South Florida club and personal residence. And I wonder if people really realize what is happening right now. I wonder if people realize what is happening right now. The Trump admin ordered NASA to destroy. This is just as shitty as the news about canceling funding for the mRNA vaccines. You know, for the mRNA vaccines. I don't know what you say. Research studies. You know, funding for it. Anyway, the Trump admin ordered NASA to destroy the only satellite that monitor climate change. This is illegal. Rep. Zoe Lofgren, the ranking Democrat on the House Committee on Science, Space, and Technology, told NPR. That's because the executive branch doesn't have the legal authority to make funding cuts. Yet, that's exactly what the Trump administration is doing, targeting satellites missions that are vital, cost-effective, and praised for delivering exceptionally accurate data on carbon dioxide levels, climate risks, and disaster preparedness. Trump pressed oil execs to give $1 billion for his campaign. People in the industry say this is just a reminder. This is from the same post. This was the second image. Remember when Trump vowed to help oil companies in exchange for $1 billion to his campaign in 2024? Well, now he's following through. The Trump admin told NASA to end the only 2 federal satellite missions that monitor planet warming greenhouse gases. The satellite have revolutionized climate science and were expected to function for many more years, with an official NASA review finding the data are exceptionally high quality. What's more, the cost to maintain missions is only a tiny fraction of the amount we've already paid for design and launch. It's definitely not about funding. The data collected by the satellite is used to track pollution sources, predict droughts and crop failure, detect wildfire risks, improve climate models and forecasts, and ensure transparency on climate action. Ending the missions makes it easier for the US government to greenwash the impact of fossil fuels on our climate. So oil companies can continue to profit without responsibility. These satellites are especially important in helping us prepare for the impacts of a warming planet, which is causing more intense heat waves, stronger storms, rising sea levels, and widespread disruption to the ecosystem and agriculture. Preparation is the only way to protect our communities. We have the tools to monitor, predict, and prepare for extreme weather, but only if we use them. Oh, I don't know. I don't have the words. Don't have the words. So these are two articles I screenshot this morning. Israel's security cabinet approves plan to take over Gaza City. And then I also saved the link to the article. Here's the article. Israel's security cabinet approves plan to take over Gaza City. Hamas says Israel's plan to take over the Gaza City will come at a high cost. Hamas condemned Israel's plan to take over Gaza City as a full-fledged war crime that will come with a high cost. The approval by the Zionist cabinet of plans to occupy Gaza City and forcibly evacuate its resident constituents is evacuate its residents constitutes as a new war crime that the occupation army is preparing to commit against the city and its nearly 1 million inhabitants. Hamas said in a statement Friday, we warn the criminal occupation we warn the criminal occupation that this reckless adventure will come at a high cost and will not be a walk in the park. Hamas said Israel's manipulation of language by replacing the term occupation with control is nothing more than an obvious attempt to evade its legal responsibility for the consequences of this brutal crime. It added that Israel's decision clearly explains the occupation's sudden withdrawal from the latest round of negotiations, which Hamas said was on the verge of reaching an agreement. The group said it will continue to take all necessary steps to pave the way for a ceasefire agreement that releases all hostages at once in exchange for the end of war and the withdrawal of Israeli troops. Palestinian Authority warns Israel's plans for Gaza will lead to an unprecedented humanitarian catastrophe. The Israel government's dangerous decision to fully occupy the Gaza Strip will lead to an unprecedented humanitarian catastrophe. The Palestinian Authority presidency said in a statement Friday, according to the Palestinian news agency WAFA. The move will be a fully fledged crime that continues a policy of genocide, systematic killing, starvation, and siege, and constitutes a blatant violation of international humanitarian law. United States humanitarian law and United Nations. The presidency said, according to WAFA, Israel denies that it is committing a genocide in Gaza. Israel's security cabinet on Friday approved a plan to take control of the Gaza city and extend security control over the enclave. The Prime Minister's office once said, Israel withdrew its troops and settlements from Gaza in 2005 after a 30-year occupation. The Palestinian presidency has initiated urgent contacts with international parties, including the UN Security Council, and has called for emergency meetings of the Organization of Islamic Cooperation and the Arab League, WAFA reported. All right, so other headlines here. Germany halts arms exports to Israel for use in Gaza. Germany will not improve any exports of military equipment that could be used by Israel in Gaza. German Chancellor Friedrich Merz announced on Friday. The German government will not approve any exports of military equipment that could be used in Gaza Strip until further notice, Merz said. How leaders are reacting to Israel's plan to take over Gaza City. The British Prime Minister Keir Starmer urged Israel to reconsider immediately. The UK was working to secure peace as part of a two-state solution, he said. Israeli opposition leader Yair Lapid said the plan was completely contrary to the position of the military and the defense establishment, without taking into consideration the burnout and the exhaustion of the combat troops. Palestinian politician Mustafa Barghouti said Israel's decision was a declaration of a war crime. He said the move shows that Israel government Benjamin Netanyahu and his government He said the move shows that Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and his government's real intentions were ethnic cleansing of all the Palestinian people in the Gaza Strip. Australia urged Israel to back down from its plan. Foreign Minister Penny Wong said that the permanent forced displacement is a violation of international law. Russia's ambassador to the United Nations, Dmitry Polyansky, or however you pronounce that, called the plan a very bad step in an absolutely wrong direction. Called the plan a very bad step in an absolutely wrong direction. Moscow has repeatedly criticized Israel's actions in Gaza, having called for a ceasefire since the start of the war. Turkey said Israel's decision constitutes a new phase of its expansionist and genocidal policy in the region. Switzerland's foreign ministry said it was deeply concerned by the Israeli government's announcement. The intensification of hostilities risk further deterioration. The already catastrophic humanitarian the intensification of hostilities risks further deterioration. The already catastrophic humanitarian situation, it said. Spain's Foreign Minister Jose Manuel Albares strongly condemned the announcement, writing in a post on X that it would only lead to further destruction and suffering. The Netherlands Foreign Minister Casper Veldkamp said Israel's plan is the wrong move, adding that the direction in no way contributes to improving the humanitarian situation in Gaza and will also not help to get the hostages home. All right, so that's that. So that's what's happening there, and it is really left to be seen where we go from here. It is really left to be seen where humanity goes from here, because right now these people are just setting us back, destroying the planet and setting us back and hurting people, and they're setting humanity back. And I don't know what is going to come of that, what humanity is going to do, what we're going to do as a collective, what the world's going to do, but what is the planet going to do, what is going to happen. But all I could do is work on my own world, and try to shift the energy and add to the energy of light, and add to the energy of what is good, and try to transmute darkness into light, and use what is meant for evil for good. And this is the last thing that I saw. I saved. Google confirms it has been hacked. Warns user data stolen. And this is an article. I started to read it. An article where Google confirms that it was hacked and that data is compromised. And again, what's going to become of that? I don't know. What does that mean? What does that mean for us? What does it mean for uh, in a from a bigger standpoint? I don't know. But I did read the article, but since I just read the other article to you guys, I'm not going to you all. I'm not going to read this one. But let us just hang in there. Let us just, oh, I saw this. I saw this on my YouTube feed. I didn't screenshot or anything. This is directly on my YouTube feed. I just left the page open because I just saw this when I got ready to start this video. An immigration and custom, let me read the headline first. ICE detainee found hanging by the neck in detention facility, agency says. An immigration and custom enforcement detainee has died in custody after he was found hanging by his neck in a shower room at the Pennsylvania facility where he was being held, according to ICE. I can't say this name. Chuffing Yi, a citizen of China. Oh my God. A citizen of China in ICE custody was found hanging by his neck and unresponsive in the shower room of the detention pod, ICE said. Yi had been in ICE custody for 5 days and was awaiting a hearing before the Department of Justice Executive Office for Immigration Review, ICE said. Okay, so the question I want to know is, how bad was it that he couldn't hang in there? I know that these facilities are awful. I can imagine how awful they are. I've been hearing. I saw something yesterday talking about the alligator Alcatraz from a CNN report or something like that, from somebody who worked there as a corrections officer or something like that, and she was talking about how bad it is. And I just don't know how long this is gonna go on for. How long are we gonna do this to each other? How bad is this gonna get? How far are we gonna go? How is this gonna end? I am making these videos. I don't know why I'm making these videos. I'm making these videos to document, but as an observer, because the answers for me are very simple. The answers for me is love. Period. Is like every freaking decision is love. The answer is love. Like, is this out of love or is this out of hate? Is this out of something different? Is this out of light or is this out of darkness? It is so fucking black and white to me. I don't know how to discuss context, and if this is, I don't know how to discuss these in a more contextual way, because to me it is just, I can't stop saying this, it's just black and white. It's right or wrong, dark or light, love or hate. It's just really, really obvious, the answers. If you're either gonna do something out of compassion and kindness and common sense and intelligence and with or in a wise way, or are you going to do things out of ignorance and stupidity and hate and negativity and greed? So basically, high vibration versus low vibration. That's what it is. High vibration versus low vibration. And I don't know. I don't know why. I don't know when this is going to change and how this is going to go. All I could do is work on my story, work on my world. Thanks for watching. Thanks for being patient. Love, peace, and blessings.